Hey, welcome to CineMike. For this episode, I want to discuss what I think everyone has gotten wrong about Star Wars The Last Jedi. Well, by now most of us have probably gotten a chance to see it. The film went from the massive praise of the critics to then being met with possibly the most divided reception among the audience of any Star Wars film. Depending on who you ask, this is either the worst or the best of the series, and people are very passionate about defending their side of the argument. I was planning to do a review for the movie, but I found myself feeling a bit too split on it to be able to formulate a complete opinion at first. And before I got around to it, I noticed that others were already communicating most of my thoughts beautifully, and I didn't have much more to add. However, as time has gone by, there is one thing that I keep hearing over and over again that I do totally disagree with. The one thing that I think both the haters and the fans of the film have gotten wrong is claiming that it's so different. The haters are like, this betrays everything that Star Wars is all about. And the film's fans are like, this is so innovative and daring. I say both are wrong. This is definitely a retread of the other films. Characters being challenged with failure and growing from it was a big theme in Empire Strikes Back. Having the Resistance on the run and pursued by the First Order is nothing new. The lead character being trained by a mentor who had chosen to exile themselves is what happened with both Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda. Having Rey go into a cave strong in the dark side where she experiences a vision happened to Luke in Empire Strikes Back. Rey believing that she could turn Ben away from the dark side is super reminiscent of Luke thinking he could turn Vader. The entire throne room scene with Snoke was a total ripoff of the one in Return of the Jedi. With the dialogue, him making her watch as he crushes her Resistance fleet, her pulling a lightsaber on him out of rage, most of it was just recycled. That is up to the point of Snoke's death, which I'll admit led to a pretty awesome lightsaber fight scene and some solid character development for Kylo Ren. Anyways, having a dark side apprentice scheme to murder his master to take his place was a desire that Vader expressed to Luke. Also, having Kylo Ren offer to rule the galaxy with Rey is just like Vader making the same offer to Luke. Having Luke face off with his former apprentice to just rob him of the chance of killing him directly was already done. Luke's entire sacrifice is pretty much just what Obi-Wan Kenobi did all over again. Then there's also the classic sequel trope of having your lead characters all split up on their own missions of self-discovery, which has been done to death. I mean, it's done a lot for a good reason because it does present certain opportunities. However, I feel that this movie didn't choose the most exciting ways to take full advantage of that. There's also obviously tons of smaller moments that recycle previously used stuff, but these were some of the bigger things. I don't know where this challenging and innovative stuff that the fans keep going on about is supposed to be in all of this. The loudest complaint about The Force Awakens was that it felt like a remake to a certain degree. I just was really hoping that The Last Jedi was going to take us somewhere fresh. The most original part of all of this was probably the Finn and Rose subplot, which was the worst stuff in the movie. And by original, I just mean a plot that doesn't directly repeat anything already done in Star Wars. But watching them save space horses and running around for a hacker on a boring gambling planet just felt like unnecessary filler. This is science fiction fantasy, a genre that allows for almost limitless possibilities. There was definitely a more interesting direction that they could have taken. Honestly, this is my biggest issue with the movie. The things that they should have taken more risks with narratively, they didn't. And the new things that they tried were mostly weak. I mean, there were other things. There's also questionable choices like having Rose impossibly catch up to Finn's speeder and idiotically crashing into him and preventing him from destroying the First Order's cannon, which would have bought the Resistance some much-needed time. Also, some really underused characters like Phasma and Maz Kanata. They're in this so little that I wonder why they even bothered. They also missed opportunities for world building here, like with Snoke. Oh, and where the hell are the Knights of Ren? There's other problems that I have, but I'm going to stop there for now. Despite my negative comments in this video, I'm not a full-blown hater. I think the issues that I have just feel like an annoying paper cut that's hard to ignore. There is still some good things here. Like, Kylo Ren is the exception to most of this, and he really was a highlight. I really enjoy his twisted coming-of-age story with his struggle to forge his own destiny and to become his own man. I also enjoyed Mark Hamill's return as Luke Skywalker overall. I would have liked to have seen him actually teach Rey something, and maybe his resolution could have been more satisfying. Still, the stuff with him and Rey overall worked. The scene with Luke and R2-D2 where the Leia message was replayed for motivation was a really nice touch. The Yoda scene was also pretty great as well. I love that he was more quirky again, and his relationship with Luke was captured very well. Being a retread of the other Star Wars movies still means that there's going to be some fun. The downside is that it does feel a bit stale, and I think many of us were hoping for something better than that this time. I don't think the movie is as bad as the haters claim, but I also don't think it's as good as the people who love it claim. In the end, I think it's just an alright Star Wars movie. Ultimately, each to their own, but I'm baffled by the people that honestly think otherwise when it comes to the topic of originality. And I think that covers everything that I wanted to talk about this time, so if you enjoyed this video then please click like, and feel free to leave a comment below. Tell me if you agree or disagree, and list off the reasons why you love or hate the movie. And I also welcome you to subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Twitter at CineMike Nerd. So anyways, until next time, this is Mike, signing off.